Today we're going to do some mindful microdosing. We're going to use a snack. I've got my bag of Doritos right here. The writing's backwards, so you won't be able to see all the words the same way. But um, microdosing, the whole idea is that um, you're going to take a little bit. You're going to enjoy mindfully both the front end perception where you taste or you feel or you smell, and then more importantly than that, you're going to notice the reaction, the back end reaction in the body. And so, when it comes to generating resource states in the body for the sake of therapeutic relief, for the sake of even overcoming some of the real deep experiences related to attachment rupture, becoming fully present in your body is one of the most important things, one of the most important gifts you can give yourself. So go ahead, if you've got your Vice snack with you or potential Vice snack, go ahead and take one out. Take it out if you're ready for it. Got my Dorito here. I'm going to put this in my mouth and I'm going to taste the front end perception. I'm going to look for and notice the back end perception where the body responds to whatever goodness or whatever else I feel. And you do the same if you're ready for it. All right, so don't forget to breathe. For me, there was the front end perception came in right away, but there was a delay on the back end perception. I didn't immediately start having a noticeably good feeling arising within me before I took a bite. And I didn't have an immediate good feeling as I tasted. I started to feel it in a moment after I just took some time to pay attention to the experience and to take a break and to stop. And so for some people, they'll start feeling the good feeling right away before they even take a bite. See, the beauty of this is it just goes to show you how well working your nervous system is when that happens. It's priming for pleasure. It's priming for goodness. And for some people, the pleasure comes when they push back with the inhibitory system. They go, okay, I'm going to stop and I'm going to feel. And then a lot of times the good feeling will come. If anything, it's a great way to help the subcortical sort of automatic, rapidly moving parts of the nervous system get used to the idea that, I don't need to have this thing in my mouth to feel good, but I'm going to use this thing. I'm going to enjoy this thing. All right. So if you haven't already been taking a few more bites, go ahead and take another one, and do pay attention to how you feel, whether it's all good or whether there's some other than good feelings that come with it. Take a bite. Now, with this particular snack, most people that are into Doritos probably are used to the idea that, oh, there's going to be this salty, cheesy, multifaceted sort of flavor with it on the front end. But then as you taste it, breathe, and notice what comes next. How does the rest of the body respond? We can talk a good talk about getting into the moment and being present without being able to understand the operational aspects of how to make it happen. And truth be told, this is it. Becoming alive to your senses, to be able to watch curiously and non-resistantly instead of fearfully or with parts of you actively being shut off. Okay. And so you can take a bite of your snack, of your treat, uh, but stay with the feeling. If it's lots and lots of good feelings coming up, well, great, you can stay with it. The nice thing about your noticing it, though, is that when the good feelings start to diminish, you're less likely to just keep shoving it in, trying to get more of what you're not getting from doing so. You're going to start noticing, hey, this is working and, well, or was working, and now it's not working anymore. You'll notice the diminishing returns. And so go ahead and take a bite. Go ahead and notice. Was it delicious? Was it wonderful? Was it sharp? Was there something weird about it that you normally ignore when you're just eating them or putting them in your mouth. Go ahead and breathe. Notice how the body responds to the residual effect of what you just brought in. And if there's really not much there, then maybe this is a cue to you that a little is enough, and that's it. But if there's more of a need that it seems to be fulfilling, a lot of times it becomes really clear what that need is. So sometimes people will start to do this and realize, you know what, this feels really good. And part of the reason why it feels really good is that I need something really substantial in me. And maybe this isn't it right now. Maybe I'm going to take a break from these and then come back to them afterwards to see if I like them after I have something substantial in me. Um, and the reality is that a lot of times whatever your enjoyment snack was, chips or ice cream or whatever, it'll still be your enjoyment snack later. It's just a matter of you being able to claim the sensory perception, to bring your consciousness into it. And if a lot of times when you take a bite and then there's this feeling of goodness, this salutary goodness rising in your body, if you watch it, if you just consider it, it tends to expand. It tends to expand unless there's a competing feeling that's ready to rush in. A lot of times when you open yourself up to whatever sense comes, you get both these positively valenced or leaning feelings along with these negatively valenced feelings. And being able to keep consciousness alive in the face of both is where this wonderful synthesis and relief starts to form naturally. A lot of times what will happen is people will start to experience a good feeling in their body, and if for some reason there's this sort of guilty, sad, or grieving feeling that just hasn't been dealt with and has been pushed to the side, not consciously. Usually you don't have to consciously push those feelings away. They often do it it often happens on their own with your own internal defense structures. What'll happen is sometimes those feelings start coming in, and if you're able to hold awareness both into the feeling of, yeah, there was goodness here, and now there's this feeling of badness, a lot of times as you're able to keep your awareness in it and be curious about it instead of hating it, to be open to whatever it's trying to do next instead of trying to shove it down or stop it, what ends up happening is it tends to move toward relief. Sometimes there's a rise of intensity and then a letting go. So sometimes there's an irritation or an anger followed by some sadness. Whatever pattern is ready to come through, if you'll watch it and stay with it, it tends toward your relief. Relief drop by drop, bit for bit, and in the case of snacks, it might be bite for bite if you're microdosing Doritos. Feel the sensation. Notice if there's a back end response. This is one of the simpler ways to get fully re-embodied, to invite those parts of your nervous system and perceptual system that have been walled off for defensive reasons to start inviting them back in. I hope you found this video useful.